Arsenal played Tottenham in their biggest North London derby of the last decade to keep up tabs with Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. What are the major decisions Arteta needs to make for this game, and what are the adjustments that we need to make to try and prevent Tottenham getting anything from the game? Well, let's get into it. Now, the game on Sunday, I think, shows the example of how much bottle do Arsenal actually have. Now, of course, we still might not win the league. We've got Manchester United away, but even if we win all our games, Man City do have the advantage right now. But I don't like thinking like that. I think we have to focus on ourselves and at least have to focus on getting results in our games. And going away to Tottenham Hotspur hasn't been a fixture we have really liked for many years, other than last year when we got that incredible win there. But this isn't the same Tottenham Hotspur team. This is a team with a very exciting, encouraging manager that wants to play attacking, high-line football with a team that have actually made smart signings for once in their life. A lot of their defenders have had overall very good seasons, but obviously there's still a lot of mistakes. And I see a lot of similarities between their team now and our team in 2020-2021, where they are eventually probably going to be something good, but right now it's just not clicking and they've got a few players that aren't good enough. And that's the thing with this Tottenham team. They overall will play really well, and especially against us, you know they're going to have that extra level of trying, especially because they haven't played in 2 weeks, which I think is a bit stupid how the schedule works. They definitely have the tendency to sometimes get destroyed in games. There is always that thing with Ange where he will go for games and play this high pressing system no matter what happens, even if they've got 9 men against Chelsea and then they end up getting thrashed, or even in games like Brighton where they just throw them apart and absolutely rip Tottenham to shreds. And comparably to teams that we usually play that would like to play a mid to low block, I still expect Ange probably to play quite a high defensive line. He will want to get his defenders up there and use his pace to get in behind. However, you could see maybe a change to a mid block because it has been so successful against Arsenal the last few weeks, and they've had a few weeks off to practice and prepare for this game. Now, Tottenham aren't the worst team as well at being pressed. They do like kicking the ball out with Vicario that goes very far, and that could be a big thing for us where we get Havertz in midfield quite a lot to win them headers deeper. They also like pushing their fullbacks into the inverted positions, Porro and Udogie, who help assume it in the defensive role when they have the ball. This helps them build up and get an overman in midfield. But if we show the same intensity against Chelsea with Partey, Rice and Odegaard in midfield, I think this could be some issues for Tottenham, as we could get manned up on them and it wouldn't even have to use Ben White to come forward. Now, Tottenham are a good team and they're very good on the transition. They're very good at quickly putting the ball out wide and pushing up into the midfield, which has caused us problems in before. But with their midfield not being on the brilliant form they have been at the start of the season, Basuma and Papamatasar in particular, it could be easy if we get people like Partey and Rice to be on them the whole game. And going forward, they're very much a team that rely on direct attacks. They like getting a lot of people down the wing and doing overlapping and inlapping play to try and create runners from different areas. They also like crossing the ball in and trying to win headers, and we're going to need our 1v1 defenders to definitely be good and playing. So Tomiyasu I expect to play for this game because he is good in that role. And overall, when we played them last time at the Emirates, we did drop points. We drew 2-2, and I don't think it was a fair enough game. They definitely had chances, Tottenham, on the break, but our team were very much more naive than I think they will be going into this one and how we've developed through the season. We also made some key mistakes in that game where Jorginho gave the ball away, and even the first goal was very sloppy defending that we shouldn't have given away. And considering our defensive record recently has been very good, it's very much more unlikely that we're going to make them mistakes again. But there's also other factors we've got to take into play. We are going away to Tottenham, which obviously with their fans and how much they're going to care specifically and the amount of energy that their team is probably going to have, they're going to bring it. So we're going to have to be calm under pressure and try and maybe let them have the ball a bit more, like we did against Chelsea, where we let Chelsea calmly have it and were patient in the press. We decided when we wanted to press and we weren't intensely doing it the whole time. This allowed Chelsea to basically make the decisions on the ball, which ultimately they didn't really want to do, and didn't wear out our team too much. It gave us a lot more calmer, and I think that's why we were better in the second half with a lot more energy than we usually would. This should be the same with Tottenham. They're a very good team at counter-attacking and playing quick, fast football. If we let them have the ball from deep, they're not going to be wanting to do it so much. They're going to be trying to do over-the-top balls and long ball system, which I think our team is set up to defend quite well. But this is very much going to be a different place when you're in the lion's den rather than at your own time. And of course, I think getting an early goal would be very helpful, like it was against Chelsea, to try and calm down the nerves. And that's what we did last year, especially when we played Tottenham. We were very good in the first half there. And maybe if we can replicate that again, I think we could do well. But this is a different Tottenham team, and more importantly, a more encouraging and a manager that is willing to go rogue whenever he wants to get goals. But I do think overall that benefits us with how good our defense is, and I do think overall we have to rely on them in this game. Now, we also play before Manchester City do. They're right after us, which is very annoying in a sense, but it would be good to see if we can continue continue our lead within the league. If we win this game, I think the belief will definitely be there. For me, this is the hardest game that we have left, and obviously because Tottenham are our biggest rivals, they're going to care more about it than they usually would. I don't think as a team level it's necessarily a worry, but you never know what's going to happen in the derby. We saw it with Everton and Liverpool. When they actually care more, it happens. And with the rest that they've had, and the fact that Postecoglou does do good things sometimes, he is a very good manager, it worries me a little bit going into this game. But I think overall we should still be confident, and we've got to be confident for the rest of the season because there's no reason not to be. So one of the big questions is who's we actually going to start in this game, because I don't think it's clear and cut as some people think it's out to be. Obviously our midfield did really well. I did a video about it when we played Chelsea. The Partey, Rice and Odegaard combination finally getting played and working, but we definitely gave up more chances than we have in our traditional games. When someone like Jorginho's in there or another midfielder like Havertz has been put in there and Rice has moved to the 6, we only give up around 0 to 0.5 xg, a little bit higher maybe, and often it's not actually that high, and we give up no chances to the other team. Now Chelsea obviously are a very good transitional team, very good counter-attacking team, but they can't finish. So they're not just going to be anybody's, they are going to create chances, and they did create an xg of around 1.5, 1.6, which is actually a lot, showing that they should have scored maybe even 1 or 2 goals. Of course Jackson missed about 4 sitters, which don't obviously help, but the fact they were getting them chances, you can't always put down to Partey, but I think he was playing a lot more aggressive system. Now this is just going to happen when Thomas Partey's in the team, because we have to play a lot more aggressive sometimes on the press. We have to be ready for the teams to go into their own defensive line and be able to get the ball quicker. This is because when teams do actually make their centre backs wider, it's a lot more ground for Odegaard to cover. So in order to eliminate any possibility of them counter-attacking from that, you've got to eliminate the passes rather than that centre back option, because that does screw our whole system up, which we did a lot against Chelsea in that first half, was very successful at. Partey kept winning the ball back and so was White, and we had loads of chances. Now I expect Tottenham to also do this centre back where they move them to wide, because they usually have centre backs quite wide anyway, but they're going to be trying to play a lot of long balls into the middle, trying to keep us into the press and then hit us over the top. So as long as we can keep our discipline and do it when we need to be careful. So I still think I'd play Partey, but we can't be going as gung-ho all the time. We have to be a lot more conservative in that situation. And then for the other team, you've got to play the normal backline. Tomiyasu has to come in as a 1v1 defender. He did struggle a little bit against Chelsea, but I think you have to play him in this game. And finally, I think the attack is a very interesting one. Havertz is probably going to have to stay up front. He's going to definitely have to play somewhere in this game, so I think up front makes the most sense, and you're going to have to bring some other players in. I kind of want Martinelli to play, because I think with Rice's positioning on the left half space, we could potentially get the ball to him a little bit more, and I kind of trust him more of a 1v1er than Trossard, but obviously Trossard's been on brilliant form and you can understand why you'd want to play him. And the rest of the team I expect to be normal. Saka and Odegaard have to play, and Odegaard's going to have to move his position in game, because that's what makes us better. Let me know how you think the game's going to go, and let me know what you think about Arsenal's title chances, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.